Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making our own storage for embossing folders, and I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, I've been wanting to make some kind of storage for my embossing folders, and I played around and came up with this, but it wasn't perfect. It holds a lot, which made me happy, but it just not perfect. So we're going to go for round 2 today, and hopefully this one will be perfect. That one holds 25 of this size embossing folder. I think these are like 6 by 4 maybe, 6 by 4.5, or almost 4.5, 6 by 4, yeah, 4.5. So that's what we're shooting for. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. One's going to be cut 8 3/4 inch by 5, and one is going to be cut 8 3/4 inch by 8 1/4. You're also going to need something to decorate it with. I'm using my Graphic 45 Blossom stack. I love this stack. That was what the other one was too. It's so pretty. I just love it. And even though it doesn't really match this green, went with it anyway. And this piece is 4 5/8 by 2 7/8. I think we'll be doing more of this because I am going to make a lid, but I don't want to make the lid until my box is made, so I'm sure I have the sizes right. So we'll go to the lid as soon as we finish the box. So the first thing we're going to do is some scoring. On your 8 3/4 inch by 8 1/4 length, on the 8 3/4 side, you're going to score it at 2 inches. And at 6 3/4 inches. Then you're going to turn it, and on your 8 1/4 inch side, you're going to score only at 2 inches. Then on your other piece, that is 8 3/4 by 5, on the 8 3/4 inch side, sorry, gotta get that out of there. You're going to score again at 2 and 6 3/4. And then you're going to, oops, Jeepers Creepers jumped out of the track. What else is new? And then you're going to turn it to the 5 inch side, and you're going to score at 2 inches. And that's the scoring we need to do. Now, if you jump out of the track, I've showed you how to fix this before, but I want to make sure I show you in case you've never seen me do this. The easiest tool to use to fix this with is your bone folder. And my bone folder looks like this. It's an old Fiskars one. You can still find them on eBay, but this is the one I like. Let me find the place where I jumped out of the track. Jeez, I can't even see it. How perfect is that? Or was it on the other piece of paper? Oh my gosh. Things are looking up for me. Oh, there it is. Wasn't that simple. Okay. Hopefully you can see it too. Right there. Do you see that? You want to turn it to the side that's pushed up, the mountain side. And you're going to take your bone folder. If you have a stylus for your scoreboard, you could use that, I think. But what you want to do is you want to just take your tool and rub that raised area. You should be able to basically push it back down, making sure again that you're rubbing it on the side that's raised. So you want to get rid of that as much as you can, because the thing is when you're making a box, you don't want to have to look at this for the next 100 years and go, why didn't I fix that? And basically now it's just kind of a line that you can kind of see, but it's not as indented. But if you work at it a little bit harder, you definitely can get it so it looks really good. So that's my trick there. Okay. Let's talk about how we're going to cut our papers. We're going to take our 8 3/4 by 8 1/4 piece first. Now, this is the 2 inch, this is the 6 3/4 inch, and this is the 2 inch at the bottom. That's how you want it to be sitting. You want that 2 inch score that's the only score on this length. You want that at the bottom of your board. And what you're going to do is you're just going to snip straight up that score line to the 2 inch line. Almost cut my finger there. My finger was underneath. Oh my goodness, I'm crazy. And then I'm going to go across and just cut that box out. I'm sure you can tell I've got a cold. It's not COVID. Rich caught a cold and then graciously, as a Valentine's gift to me, gave it to me. So it was lovely. And we're going to do the same on the other side. We're just going to get rid of the boxes on either side. You also want to get rid of those score lines. So that when you, nope, I didn't cut enough. I'll have a chunk there if I don't. Cut a little further. And you don't want to see a little chunk. See, if you cut out the score lines, it looks cleaner. So you want to try and get rid of those score lines too. Okay, that's all the cutting you do on that piece. Then we're going to take our other piece. Holding it the exact same way. So that your 2-inch, your 6 3/4, your 2-inch is there. Just like with this one. You're going to cut out. You're not going to cut out, sorry. I think I led you astray there for a second. You're going to cut up to your score line, and then you're going to cut a little bit of a little diagonal. You're going to turn these into a tab. So you want to just cut out just a little sliver on both sides so that when you put this together, you don't have a lot of excess paper and you don't have anything showing when the box is made. This design, well, part of this design is from Sam Calcott. She does a nice job with three-dimensional things, and I liked hers. My original box was not her design. Clearly, that's probably why it didn't work well. So we did the exact same thing on both sides. We just cut little snips out of the sides. Now, the designer paper that you put on, now is the time to put it on. And as I said, it's 4 5/8 by 2 7/8, and you're going to put that so that it's facing. Okay, for a moment I lost my mind. It's facing up. I'm going to use my Barely Art glue. As you know, that's my glue of choice. Okay. It's better if you do this now, because once you start putting this together, it's going to be a little bit of an issue, if you know what I'm saying. Because once it becomes three-dimensional, trying to put on a piece of your DSP is going to be tricky because you've got it made already. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this into what we'll call a semi-box. I'm going to fold and burnish all of my pieces. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to put glue, I'll put it this way again. You're going to put glue on the front of these two tabs. You can use tear tape or any kind of really good adhesive. I'm using my same glue because I think it does a nice job and it'll hold relatively quickly. And you want to make sure that you've got all of the edges so that when you glue this down, the edges are all glued in place. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to fold these in, fold them down, and then you're going to lay this piece so it lines up perfectly straight with the piece under it, so that you don't see the edge of the piece under it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I like to use paper clips, clothespins or paper clips, whatever you'd call them. I'm calling them a clothespin because that's really what they are. And I like to put those in place just to make sure that it holds until the glue sets up. And you also want to kind of rub on those tabs to get that glue set up. If you use tear tape, obviously you won't have to do this, but since I didn't use tear tape, we just want to make sure our piece is held in place. Then we're going to turn this into a semi-box. Again, you're going to fold and burnish all of your scores. This part isn't so much of a box as it's creating a box in this. This bottom piece is going to be, the bottom is going to lay on top of those those two flaps you just glued in. It's nice that those tabs are glued inside and this goes on top of it, because then when you look in the bottom, it's a nice clean finish, if you know what I'm saying. And so when you do this piece, you're going to put glue on the underside. Now I've folded these. I'm going to fold these in like that, ultimately, and I'm going to fold this up. So you then want to put your glue on the underside of this piece, because this is what's going to hold your your pieces together. This should be set up, and then we can put this in. So you just want to slide this inside. And you want to put your hand in there and make sure that that piece is glued down to your base. You can use your ruler. I'm hoping you can see this. Hold on, I'll put it more into that one light. My lights have a mind of their own most of the time, so I apologize if you have trouble seeing things, because one of them, my circle light, spins around. Sometimes it spins into frame and I don't know it's doing it. It's just insane. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue our sides in like this. When we do this, though, you have to remember that you only want the glue to go on this part. On this part. Because once you put that in place, you don't want glue above it. So I'm going to put my glue on the outside of this. It should make for a very clean looking finished box. I'm going to pull that up and line it up with the bottom. Got a little glue seeping over. And you're going to make sure that your sides are well adhered. I'm going to take a second to hold this so I can make sure that I can get it to be glued in place. This is the easiest way to do it, to get it to set up, is to lay it on and like push on it so that that piece is adhered. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with my bone folder. I got glue on me. What else is new? I'm just going to take, this is a ruler, not a bone folder. I'm making up names of tools as usual. We just want to make sure that this is really well adhered. Then we're going to do the same thing with this side. We're going to put the glue again on this piece. This is fast to make for this part. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to make a nice nice lid for it. I don't know if I can, but I'd like to make a lid. That's where I really struggled with the other one that I made, is the lid. Okay. Again, you want to line that up with your side, making sure that the bottom is straight. If the bottom is straight, the whole side will line up perfectly. And then you're going to flip it over. Now, Sam cut hers. I don't know if you can see this. She cut hers on an angle like this. This is, the box that I made with my own design, but that part is the same. I don't think I want to do that, because if I want to do a lid, I think the easiest way for me to do a lid would be to do a lid that doesn't have any sides to it, but has a front, like a lip that flaps down to the front that doesn't have any sides. That was really helpful. I'm sure you're all going, oh, that I understand completely now, Sandy. Basically what I want is I want a lid that goes across the top, down the front, and magnetizes here, or Velcros here. Probably magnetizes, because I think that'd be easier. But in order to do that, like I said, I think it's going to be better if I keep my sides. The only thing about that, and I'm really contemplating this, is that I think these sides are just a little bit too trying to think of the word, fragile maybe. I might want to put DSP on that, designer paper on that. But for now, we're just going to go with this, and then we're going to do our lid, and then we'll revisit whether we wanted to decorate the rest of it. So for our scoring, on the 8.5 inch length, we're going to score it at 1.5 and 3.5. If you notice I made a little a boo-boo there, I'm going to work around that. Just ignore it. I'm rounding the edges of this with my Catomaro Pro Corner Rounder. Love it. Can't get enough of it. Greatest tool ever. This is it. And on the large setting. And then I cut my papers. This is for the front. I might as well adhere these now. No, not that one. I might as well adhere the one to the top first. This is 1 3/4 by 4 5/8. And this will make it so that the top is sturdier. The more layers of paper you use, the stronger it's going to be. I'm just going to put those 2 pieces of tear tape on it, and then I'm going to add wet glue. I just wanted to make sure my edges are glued down really well with tear tape. And then going into the center with this, making sure you get the edges. Okay. And I want to make sure the majority of it faces, or the pattern faces toward the corner rounds. Oop, I got a little tear tape hanging off my edge. I think about like that. Should make it straight, or pretty straight, kind of straight. We're going with it. Then I cut 2 pieces for the sides, again to make this sturdier, and these are 6 inches by 1 1/4 inch. Adding wet glue to these too, because I like to make sure that if I lay it down wrong, I have the ability to take it back up if I have to. You know, a little protection for me. Making sure my pattern faces the top. Wait, I want to make sure that I can see all the sides. Yep, a little bit more that way, I think. I think that's pretty. Ooh, good thing I have that other glue on. I think. There we go. I'm going to really rub it in place to get that glue underneath smushed around. Sure, it's a word. Makes it look a little bit more finished. Same with the other side. I'm not going to do anything to the back because, let's face it, that's just a waste of pattern paper. Nobody's going to look at the back of this box. But I'm going to look at the front and the side, so I want it to look pretty on the front and the sides. I also, from this Blossom set from Graphic 45, I have some chipboard pieces, and it just comes with some really cool stuff, and I might want to do more decorating on the front with one of the chipboard pieces just to give it a little more zip. If you can hear poor Rich, he's still coughing. This is probably 10 days in with this cold, and he's really miserable still. It's horrible. It's a really bad cold. Luckily, the day after he got sick, we had said, yeah, we liked some of those free COVID kits. And the day after he got sick, the COVID kit came in the mail, and we're like, yay! So we tested him right away, and luckily, he did not have COVID. That was a good thing. All right, now this is the back of our lid, and I put tear tape on the back of that. We're going to want to put our magnets. I think I want to put my magnets between these layers. So I want to put them, the ones facing down. So I'm going to put my magnet underneath this. And I already have some tear tape on my magnets. I'm going to take the other magnet off in a second. And I'm going to put his buddy. Maybe I might want to move him up a little bit. And take my backing off of this. Let's hope this all works out. If it doesn't, well, I gave it a shot, right? I even put wet glue on my magnets because since I'm gluing this down and the magnets are part of that, I want to make sure that everything is adhered. I could have put tear tape on top of that part of the magnet, but I just didn't. And now I'm going to put this relatively close to the bottom. Like that. Okie dokie. Oh, let's hope that this is going to work. I'm going to adhere this to my box, to the back of my box, so that I can put my my other magnets in place. So I just need to take my backing off. I think I should have made this a little bit wider, and if I had to do it again, and I probably will, I think I would make this lid maybe 1/8 of an inch wider, maybe not that much wider, but I think it makes it so you can get it to stay where you want it if you make it a little bit wider. And by stay where you want it, I mean so that the inside, so it doesn't do that. It's not going to do that because I'm going to have the magnets that are going to hold it in place. But I think it would be cleaner if, you know, if I had a better system. Just saying. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to line my box up so the lid is exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to take it off here, and I'm going to put it inside the box on that spot. I might use a glue dot where I think that spot is. Let's see if that worked. Oh, it's not bad. It's a little bit off. Let's do the same thing on the other side. All I did was I lifted up the flap so I could see the magnet, and then I made a mark with my pencil. So then I just want to put this one, let go of me, I think right about there. Let's see how that does. It's not bad. I do wish I had been able to get that, get the sides in to be pointed in more. Let me tell you how many embossing folders it'll hold. I'd say 15 is probably where you'd want to stop. Let's see if that makes it so that our box, yeah, I think it looks good. I think I do want to do a little bit of decorating on the front of it. So let me grab the Blossom. If you've never bought one of their collection packs, they're really nice. I love Graphic 45 paper. I really do. It's just beautiful stuff. Okay. So I have, it comes with these. Oh, I like this one. It says be at peace, be peace. That one's pretty. And I like this strip. Okay. This is what we're going to do. Hopefully that's straight. It looks straight. I hope it's straight. And then I'm just going to snip off the edge. I also add additional glue to these sometimes. If I, like in a project like this, I would definitely add more glue because you don't want to have this peel up. It can be really annoying when these things don't stay glued down over time. The other thing that's nice about putting on a little bit more of this, like, I'll call it dimension, is it adds a little bit of weight to it to make sure that the glue, no, not the glue, that the magnets hold. I think the Be At Peace, I want to put a little bit of foam tape under because I think that will make it just look a little bit better. So what I think I want to do is I want to put this right there, but I want to have it overlap both the top and the bottom of this, well, I don't know what we'll call it, trim. I also think I should line this lid so that the lid is more sturdy. I think I might want to use this sticker instead, and it's got, I gotta poke out a whole bunch of little pieces, so let me poke these out. Oh, I like that better. Still gonna raise it up though, but I want to raise it on my really tall glue dots because I think I want big dimension for this. I have these glue dots, see how thick they are? I really like them for projects like this where you really want big impact from whatever you're putting on. And I really like, I don't know where I got them, and I don't have any more of them. I think I might have got them at a craft show. Well, I'm going to put that there for right now so I can get this out of the way, and then we'll look at it and see what we think. So I decided in the end that I would line the inside of my box to make it more sturdy. So let me give you the paper dimensions for them. I put a piece inside my lid, and it is 1 3/4 by 4 5/8. And then I glued a piece into the top of the lid, and I rounded the corners of it, and it is 5 inches by 4 3/4. Nope, yeah, 4 3/4. And that made it so that this is much sturdier and holds in place better. Then I also glued inside the sides, and those pieces are 6 1/4 by, I think 1 3/4. No, by 2. So you need 2 of those to glue inside that. And then I glued one piece inside this because I wanted it to line my magnets, and I wanted to make this sturdier. And it is 4 5/8 by about 2 7/8, because I wanted it a little bit shorter so it didn't stick out the top. Same with this piece. I wanted it a little bit shorter so that it didn't interfere with the flap, if that makes sense. So there it is. I think it's pretty. I'm happy with it. I'm glad I took the time to do it. It doesn't really take that long. It's more a matter of, I guess, doing the finicky things that took me the longest. I'm glad I did it though. And I'm glad I did this one too, because you don't know until you make a few mistakes whether you're really happy with something or not. And I'll still be able to use this to hold 25 more embossing folders. And so that's fun. So I hope you enjoyed this and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.